It's hard. The call was hard. The decision was the right one. I know that.
Welcome to the Billy Slater Podcast. All thanks to Tab. We are on location this week at Camp Maroon on the Sunshine Coast as Billy Slater's Maroons prepare for State of Origin 2 next week across the country over in Perth. Big week ahead. How are you, Billy?
I'm good, thanks, Salty. Thanks for bringing the podcast back into camp.
Yeah, on the road, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to a big week ahead, no doubt. You've got the squad named. You made a point last week about change, and it's not just about personnel. It's about approach. It's about what players do differently. So what's your feeling overall, before we talk about the squad, overall heading into camp this week?
Probably a little bit of that is actually being really honest about game one and how we played and some of the actions within the game. We'll do that over the next couple of days and make sure that we're really clear about some of the things that we do need to change within our game, and then we'll go after it over the next 9 days. So that's the process from here on in.
As far as the whole week is concerned, one of the features of the week is a fan day in Gympie.
Yeah.
Found when you guys were playing and talked to you and your teammates a lot, it was just a great way, particularly even after a loss, just as a reminder about, hey, this is who we're playing for, and you'll see people come from far and wide when you head up there on Tuesday.
Yeah, through your playing day, Salty, like things come and go, and memories and all that sort of stuff. There's not a whole heap of memories that are vivid in your mind. Even the playing stuff on the field sometimes comes and goes, whereas these memories of going to the rural areas, they're the things that really stick in my mind from my playing days. Going out to Longreach, going to Bundaberg after the floods and camping on the showgrounds where they camped through that flood period. Like just those things I vividly remember. So going to a region like Gympie, that's really exciting for us this week, and it's exciting for the people of Queensland and the region of Gympie, but for us as Queenslanders to go and connect with who we're playing for, it's really important. And we've obviously got I don't know, is it a Gympiean?
Yes.
A Gympiean in Tino Fasua Malawi, who grew up and played for the local club in Gympie, and I'm sure Tino's really excited to get up there back to his hometown.
Absolutely. On the squad, I think I know you pretty well, and you delve into every selection so deeply. You care for these players. Yeah. Your captain up until ever since you've been coach is Daly Cherry-Evans. How tough a call was it to leave DCE out of next week?
It's hard. The call was hard. The decision was the right one. I know that. But the call was really hard because you're right. I've got a great relationship with Daly. Started off by being teammates. Yeah. And then obviously, the coach and the captain and the halfback and the first thing I will say is Daly has done so much for this jersey. He's done so much for this state. He's done so much for this group of players. But it comes to an end for all of us at some stage, and no one's played at an age that Daly's played at this level. Like that is something that he will be remembered for. And although he was disappointed when I made the call, he took it with great character, great respect, and we actually had a pretty good conversation about his Origin career and what he has done and how proud he should be. Although it was hard, it was the first call that I made.
And that's the difference, isn't it, between the call is hard, but then you as coach and one of the selectors, along with Darren and Jean, are confident now that you've made the right call, because you look at Tom Dearden, and you've been singing his praises on this podcast for this year and a lot longer. He's in some sort of form, isn't he?
We talk about earning your opportunity and earning every opportunity, and it's nearly more the fact that Tom has really earned this opportunity to play in the 7 jersey. That's what I feel is the overriding decision behind this. Is that he definitely deserves this, and he's earned this, and he works as hard as anyone. He'll do whatever it takes for the team, and we saw that in game 1, and now he gets his opportunity to play in his favourite position. It's his time.
What was his reaction? Because he's very he doesn't show his emotion a lot. He's a very measured individual, but what was his reaction?
He might have been a little bit surprised, but that's just the humility that Tom has, and But the thing, in his own humble way, he expresses his confidence.
Yep.
He's going to do a great job no matter where you put him, and he'd be excited about the opportunity, that's for sure.
Another phone call that you made was across the Tasman to Kurt Capewell, who's always done a great job when called upon. He's played, around 12 Origins now, has Kurt. But the reason for bringing him back into the fold? His
habits, the habits that he has in every game that he plays. It doesn't matter what team he's playing for. He's a team first player. He can play multiple positions. That phone call was the only phone call that I made early in the week, given that the Warriors were coming over from New Zealand to play the Sharks on Saturday afternoon. So I wanted to give him the best preparation and the knowledge that he was going to be in the squad. And he was the phone call that I made early.
You've always said that you keep an eye on every player that is eligible to play for Queensland, and a lot of people might have just disregarded Kurt. So, okay, here he is. He hasn't been picked. That means it's all over. But you're watching everyone, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Every Queenslander that takes the field in the NRL, I'm aware of, and I make sure that I watch them thoroughly. I watch the habits of their game. It doesn't matter whether they've played 3 NRL games or 300 NRL games. It's my job and my responsibility to understand what habits they bring to their footy team, and if they're the best person for the position in this Queensland team, well, they're considered.
Another person coming into the squad is Ezra Mam, who was brilliant on Saturday night. He's had a couple of really good games, 3 games backing now into his season. He's been on the edge of this squad for some time, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, he was a member of this squad a couple of years ago, and he's a wonderful player. He's a wonderful player, and since he's come back, he's really helped the Broncos create a bit of spark. I actually believe that he could play multiple positions. I think he's physically talented enough to do that. He's a welcomed inclusion into the 20-man squad.
When do you decide on your 17?
Yeah, that'll happen tomorrow. So we'll work out, how the 17 is positioned. We'll sit down and talk to the coaches, and then tomorrow lunchtime we'll announce, what the 18-man team is going to look like.
Because you got Kurt Mann, for instance. He's playing today. You need to see him get through today, and he'll join the squad tonight.
He'll come in tonight. He's the only member of the squad that is playing today. Conscious of him and his preparation. The squad is what it is, and then tomorrow morning we'll assemble what our team is going to look like.
Billy, with that, and you've got the players that come in. How important is it for you to keep everyone upbeat and say this is a fresh start now? Is that part of what your messaging is to the players as well? That, hey, this is a game too. You move on pretty quickly from game 1, do you?
Yeah, good question actually, because you do need to be confident. You do need to have clarity about where you're going, but you need to know where we went wrong as well and what we didn't get right. We won't be sweeping anything under the carpet. No. That's for sure. It's not about just forget everything and just go, oh, let's just try and build this again. Yeah. It's about understanding, why we didn't play our best footy and what contributed to that and what we have control over in that. So that'll be the first thing that we do, and then from then on, it's about chasing our game. I just feel that we haven't chased our game collectively enough over the last couple of games, so that'll be the goal.
Fans always ask, Loza, what was the best era of league? And I tell them, nothing beats the line-breaking, flick-passing, goose-stepping, Vegas-flying, turbo try-scoring, origin drought-breaking, simply the best era of footy we're in right now. And with more market stats and insights, it's easy to enjoy the best era in footy with the best app in footy.
Tab. We're on.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
This is the Billy Slater Podcast, and we're here thanks to Tab. The NRL season is here. For the best time in sport, Tab has the best app in sport. Tab, we're on.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Billy, Reece Walsh, impressive for the Broncos against the Titans. Was he close?
It was great to see Reece back, and great to see the way that he performed. There's always consideration. Whenever players are playing in the NRL and they're Queenslanders, they're considered, and especially a guy like Reece, because he's been so influential in this footy team in the past. So you're always thinking about it and you're watching those players, and there was no player more proud no person more proud than myself watching him come back and perform the way he did. But at the same time, you've got to think who is best for the position, and we've got great faith in the fullback that we've got. So, yeah.
And Kalen comes in with that big moment under his belt now, doesn't he? On Thursday night, golden point, he scores the match-winning try for the night. So, so all of a sudden he comes in up and about too, doesn't he? After some positivity at Clubland. Yeah,
no, it was a good moment for him and his team. Obviously, their first half wasn't great, and to come back from that takes a fair bit of character from the footy team, and he was front and centre of that. So. I'm sure he'll come in with a bit of confidence. Well,
Billy, time to talk about three players that will have the most powerful impact in Game 2, and this is brought to you by Ampol, powering Australia's own sporting nation. Now, the first player, he made his Origin debut in Game 1, and that's Robert Toy. You know how big a fan I am of Robert, just love calling him play, and he was magnificent, wasn't he, in Game 1, showed that he really belongs at this level of the game.
Yeah, he was great. For a young 20-year-old, like to be as mature as he is, off the field, he's got great humility. He's a humble young man, and he's got great respect. And then on the field, he's got really good habits. For the inexperience that he does have, the habits are exceptional. So he's done a really good job in growing those. The Roosters and Trent Robinson have obviously contributed and helped him do that. And then there's the top end talent on top of that. So it'd be nice to actually, if we get our game on, we can unlock a little bit more of that top end talent and help him bring his game out. But I love the fact that he is locked into the team environment. He is locked into what the team needs and playing his role within that. So, he's been a pleasure to get to know off the field, and a pleasure to be a part of his inaugural series as a Queensland player.
Another one is Harry Grant, and he's going to be much better physically this week. Only played the 60 minutes coming back from that pretty nasty hamstring injury that he had. So how much are you looking forward to to him next week, and probably just following on from that as well. So a two-parter, if you like. The conditions in Perth could well be suited to someone like Harry as well.
Yeah, maybe there could be a little bit of rain over in Perth as well. I've just been keeping an eye on the weather there, but that's irrelevant. Harry's a very professional person. He takes a lot of pride in his performance. And he'd be the first one to put his hand up and say that he was below his standard in game one. You're right, physically, he's got a bit more footy under his belt, played 80 minutes on the weekend. You'd like to think Harry would be in a good frame of mind coming into camp.
All right, we look forward to seeing him in action. Another player I want to ask you about is, we've already touched on him, is Tom Dearden, and his approach to his footy and how humble he is. You've spoken about that. One thing that doesn't get spoken a lot about, Tom, is his toughness as well, his willingness to really get involved defensively.
I think he's got a really good balance to what his game looks like. We talk about his toughness and his willingness to put his body on the line and commit himself to the tough side of the game. That's certainly there in great levels. There's a lot of skill in Tom Dearden as well. He creates things and organises things in and around his area. He does that really well. And the other thing is he's a really dangerous ball runner. So I think he's got a really good mix to his game, and it's up to the rest of his teammates to help him unlock all that, to move with him and build that continuity within those key positions as well. So he's a wonderful player. He's been a great guy to have in this camp, and he's a real team first guy. So he'd be looking forward to his opportunity.
Fatty's always said, hasn't he, that he loves a half that runs the ball. Is that one of Queensland's strengths, that run threat on either side, with given what you just said about Tom, and of course we know what Cam offers? Yeah,
Tom's got a bit of ginger about his hair too, so maybe that's a bit of favour for the fat. But we all know that any player that is dangerous with their running game helps all other aspects of their game, and Tom's certainly that.
Just finally, Billy, the challenge. I know you love the challenge. You must be just relishing what does lie ahead this week and getting this team up for the must-win game over in Perth. But I get the sense you're very excited about spending this week with the guys and preparing them for next Wednesday night.
Yeah, what an opportunity. We didn't get our game right in game one. It was at home. To be fair, there was probably a few little shortcuts in our game. We can't afford that anymore. We've got to take the long road. We've got to go to Perth. We've got to go to Sydney. And if we're willing to take the long road, well, we'll give ourselves a chance. So, if that mentality is what the group takes on, well, they're a footy team, and you don't over just yet. We don't give up.
Well, good luck. Looking forward to heading over to Perth next week. I'll actually be chaperoning your former number 9. We're on a course on Tuesday. So.
A golf course?
Yes, that's right.
You're good. Good.
Well, it's a long trip.
Yeah, you've earned it.
Yeah. Well, good luck, Billy. Enjoy the week and good luck next Wednesday night.
Thanks, Ollie. Cheers, mate.